Hello, welcome back to Steve's Retirement Corner. When you choose to retire is important. It was extremely important for me. Listen, Doc, I thought about when I was planning to retire, my objective was to get off on a good start and try to avoid any major problems that might ruin me further down in retirement. How's that? I think by doing that, anytime I approach something I don't know a whole lot about or are unsure of, that's the way I try to approach it. And I didn't know anything about retiring. I just didn't. But it helps me. It gives me time to learn, time to gain experience and confidence. And by doing that, I get comfortable. And I get comfortable a lot quicker than if I just jump into it without giving it any thought at all. So that's the way I approached it. And that's why daggone retiring at the 1st of February was a big advantage to me, I think. It's well documented, Doc, that I'm not much for the winter time. I don't care what you saw yesterday. Who would have thought the retiring would have made me not dislike winter as much as I used to. I still ain't gonna be sitting around waiting for snow to fall. But in retirement, man, a lot of stuff just don't bother you like it did when you was working. I don't know why, but it just don't. And winter's one of them. I've grown to not dislike it as much as I used to. And that's a rare video I make on the weekend. I actually made that video on Friday. Same topic. But I figured, what the heck, man? It's going to snow tonight. Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow and catch it with the snow and stuff. So that's what I did. But, I retired. My first day of retirement was actually February 1st. I didn't work, but I think it was 5 days in January. A couple one week and a couple another week. So I actually felt like I was retired on January 1st, but I wasn't technically retired till February 1st. The way I looked at it was, I used to take last week of January, first week of February off as vacation anyways. In case we got a bad winter, me and the baby would skip out of town and try to find a little bit warmer temperatures for a couple of days so I could come back and suffer through the last of winter, I could make it. And so that first week really felt like a vacation to me. And I realized that, hey, man, at the most I would have just 6 weeks of winter left. About the middle of March, man, we've gotten snow on Easter before in the Richmond area. But that was years before I was born. I don't know, it might have been before Dad was born. But as a general rule, man, come February, our bad weather's out. It'll get cold in March, and we will get snow, but it won't be nothing like the middle of winter. So that gave me 12 months before I had to worry about winter again. You know what I mean? It gave me a whole year. And I was scared of the transition. That's all you hear on here, man. Retiring to something, finding purpose. That transition is hard and all this other bull. For me, it was not that big a deal at all. I slipped right into it. That fooled me too. And by being concerned about the transition and retiring on February 1st, I knew that I wouldn't be stuck in the house for long. And I didn't have to suffer through that whole winter. Being outside helps prevent me from getting bored, which is funny because I'm interested in just about everything under the sun. And as a general rule, I don't get bored. I have a hard time concentrating because I'm thinking about other things so much. So as a general rule, that boredom turned out not to be a thing for me, and it never has been, and I knew it. I tend to get cabin fever in the wintertime, and I need to get out. I can screw up a whole lot less outside than I can on the inside. So by retiring then, that gave me a good start to my year. And retiring at 57 was not planned for me. You know, I worked an extra year so I could plan out when to put in for my pension, when to put in for my withdrawals, how all that stuff worked, figuring out my insurance, how all that stuff worked, stuff like that. And I didn't want to retire at 56. I don't feel retiring early is right for me. I just don't. I love to see people get out 55, 54, whenever, if they can get out early, and that's what they want to do. I mean, it tickles the death out of me. But it's not for me. And it bothered me that first year. I could have technically, if you go by birthdays, I could have retired at 55, but I wasn't ready. You know, I was just as shocked as anybody else when they said, hey, man, you know, it's possible you can get out at the end of this year if you want to. And I went to advisors to see if I couldn't knock it down a year or so, because I wanted to retire originally at 65. When I was in my early 50s, late 40s, I figured out, hey, 60 is looking possible for me. So I'd set my date at 60. And something happened when I was 55, and I said, man, I'm going to try to get out as early as I can. And when they said to me, hey, man, it was possible for me to get, well, it shocked me. And I wasn't ready. I could have retired January at the end of the year when I was 56. I'd still been 56 that January. But it just didn't set right with me, you know. It does now. But at the time, it didn't. I got weird ways about me, you know. So, so it happened to be that February 1st after I turned 57. And I think doing it that way, thinking about the season I retired in, adding that extra week onto my year, because I turned 57 the last week of January, so I actually retired at 56 and 53 weeks. But that really helped me get off to a good start, and I was comfortable in that. And that first year I concentrated on not screwing up and having no major screw ups. That gave me a lot of confidence. The stuff I went through gave me some experience. And since then, man, I'll be honest with you, retirement's on automatic now. It's the way I live. It's daily life to me. And I wouldn't trade it for going back to a job for nothing. But listen, man, y'all take care of yourselves. You enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk at you later.